Hello, everyone, and welcome to the University of Leeds webinar. The event will start at 12 noon, so just please be patient as we set up the stream. And if you have any problems, please put your questions in the chat. I also want to tell you that there will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end, so please refrain from asking questions throughout the event because they might be answered later. Hello and welcome to Arriving at the University of Leeds webinar. The event will start at 12 noon, so please be patient as we set up the stream. And if you have any problems, please put your questions in the chat. I want to tell you that there will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end, so please refrain from asking questions throughout the meeting as they might be answered by our slides and presentation. I'll begin by introducing myself. So I'm Viva, and I'll be the host for today, and Sarah will help us to manage the chat and run through slides. So I was born and raised in Lithuania. I have been living in the UK for the past 4 years. And I just finished studying philosophy, politics, and economics bachelor's industrial, which meant that I went on a placement year. I love traveling around the world. I really enjoy reading and writing. I also play piano, and I recently became more interested in yoga, meditation, tantric dancing, and all spiritual stuff. My favorite spots on campus are Brotherton Library, Esther Simpson Building, which is the business school building, and the Edge, which is the sports hall. Sarah, now your turn.
Thanks so much, Viva. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Sarah, and I'm originally from Tokyo, Japan. I currently live in Wakefield, which is part in West Yorkshire, a little bit further afield from Leeds. I'm a third-year PhD student, and like Viva, I'm from the School of Politics and International Studies. My focus is on regional development issues in the UK. I have several part-time jobs that I really love doing. So I'm a Link to Leeds ambassador, which I'm working on currently. I'm also an education outreach fellow, so I do widening participation projects, trying to encourage students from around this area to join universities. And I'm also a teaching assistant, teaching undergraduate students. at the School of Politics and International Studies. My hobbies are quite varied, so I really like UK comedy. I love reading books, and I'm also passionate about cooking. Okay, I handed off to Ambassador.
So, hi, I'm Jerry and I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So, in this September, I will be moving into my final year of studying a Master in Arts, Bachelor in Arts, Music and Music Psychology program. I love traveling around, and UK has the most beautiful places I've visited. And I'm also a big foodie and love cafe hopping. And as a music student, I've played various of musical instruments too, like piano and violin. And I'm a big K-pop enthusiast. So K-pop fan out there, yeah, I'm here for you. My favorite spot in on campus is the Cafe Nero in the Roger Stevens building because they have the most beautiful lake view for you to enjoy your coffee and as well as to study or meet your friends. Edward Boy Library and the Common Ground. They are a very good place to hang out with your friends and also to study. So now I'll pass the floor to Pragya.
Thanks, Jue. So, hi everyone. I'm Pragya. I am a Link to Leeds ambassador from India, but I live in Dubai, UAE. I recently graduated from LLB Law, so I was in the School of Law for a 3-year law program. And yeah, it's been a wonderful experience to study from Leeds. Over the course of my time there, I've taken part in various volunteering activities and engaged with a lot of societies in the student union as well. For my hobbies, I enjoy traveling, and the picture you can see of me up there is from Armenia, actually. So I enjoy traveling. I love cooking and eating equally, so trying loads of different cuisines. In my free time, I like to sing and I enjoy gaming as well. And when I'm back home, I love spending time with my dog. Over the course of my degree, I've lived in Central Village Halls. And my favorite spots on campus, very similar to Jue, are the Edward Boy Library. I am embarrassed to admit I've spent a lot of time there just studying away, cramming at night before the exam. And also the Union and the Roger Stevens Pond. It's such a peaceful place. You can sit outside and spend time in between lectures. Right back to you now, Viva.
Thank you, Pragya. And thank you everyone for your introduction. I'm sure lots of students will have a lot of questions about your favorite places and why it is that way. So to begin our conversation, I want to tell you that in most of the slides, there will be a QR code that you can scan. And by scanning the QR code, you can access the link that is linked below as well, and you can find out more information. So the information on the slides is combined and condensed a little bit. So if you want to find all detailed information, please scan the QR code and access the links below. In July, there was a pre-departure briefing and welcome guide. There was a pre-departure briefing that was live, and if you didn't access it live, you can watch the recording now, where you can find out everything about visa and immigration, when you should travel, because we get a lot of questions from students when they should travel, and usually the answer is when your accommodation contract starts. But for the exact dates, you can watch the recording below. You can also find out about the airport pickup service that works from Leeds, Bradford Airport, and Manchester airports. You can find out about the welcome food boxes that you get as a first-time international student arriving in Leeds. There are also kitchen and bedding packs that you can order from the university when you arrive, before you arrive, that you get when you arrive. And you can find out about student registration process, what happens when you come to Leeds, how you collect student ID, how you collect BRP and register with the police and doctor, and all of the necessary documentations involved in the process of registration. And in that meeting, in that departure briefing, you can also find out about student life here at Leeds. So next slide, we're going to talk about what we should pack. So when you come to University of Leeds, there's also a full list of everything that you need to pack before coming. But this is just a condensed essential list. And the main things are passport, visa, money, medication, passport photos, socket converter, which I mean travel adapter, because if you're traveling from a different country, you're to the socket here in the UK, you need to think about that. Obviously, you can buy this kind of thing here, but if you want to get a connection in the first few hours, call your parents, and your phone is already out of battery, you would want to plug in your phone. So think about these kinds of things. You need to also bring your original academic qualification certificates and proof of fees paid. But there is a longer list, again, here in the link, and in the by scanning the QR code or just accessing the link, you can find out the full list of what you need to bring and what is essential to bring. And now Pragya is going to talk about accommodation and what you need to pack for your first couple of nights of stay.
So when it comes to accommodation, all accommodation provided by the university has certain items that are available for you as a resident to use. These are usually shared amongst other residents if you're in an ensuite or shared flat, or if you're in a studio flat, they will be there for you to use. So when it comes to things that you're required to buy, I would recommend having a bedding pack. This would include your bed sheet, pillow cover, and a blanket or comforter. You can also purchase, you should purchase some towels, some crockery as well for you to use in the kitchen, along with some cutlery, cooking pans, and other cooking utensils, your spatula, spoons, etc. that you might need. Things that you're not required to buy, so as I previously mentioned, these will be provided to you by the accommodation team, and these include a kettle, microwave, vacuum, iron, and an ironing board. So all of this will be available for you when you come to university, and you can make use of these. A lot of students come to the university for a year-long period, as opposed to students who may be there for 3 to 4 years and may not wish to purchase a lot of things, as they can be quite expensive. So I would recommend here that you can think sustainably and purchase these things secondhand from charity shops, or there are student groups on Facebook where you can buy these items as well that are sold by students who've left the university now or no longer have need for them. Obviously, things such as bedding and towels, you can purchase your own, but kitchenware, cutlery, these things can be repurposed and repurchased. So do look out for those as well. Next slide, please, Sarah. Thank you. So I'd just like to talk to you now a bit more about things that I recommend you pack. And this is a list curated by our fellow ambassadors here on the call. So some things, as Viva previously mentioned, you may wish to carry surge protected extension leads. Now these could be for your electronic appliances that you may bring from home, but you to use them efficiently in the UK, I would recommend carrying a surge protector so that they don't fry your appliances. I would also recommend having a good pair of headphones, and these will stay with you throughout your time here in Leeds. Use them in the library, use them in your accommodation. They can be very useful, especially when you're listening to your lectures in the library and whatnot. Speakers, they're really good for parties, and you'd be surprised how many people don't have speakers. So it's always a privilege to be that one person and in any house party who has a good speaker. I'd also recommend carrying some photographs and decorations. These can really add a homely feel to your accommodation. I remember I had a wall filled with pictures from back home of my friends and family that I stuck on with some blue tack. Blue tack is your best friend. Try not to use heavy duty tape because it will take off the paint walls and the paint on the walls, and that can come out of your deposit. So here's another tip. Yes, I was gonna pack it right there. So be careful about those things. And when it comes to decorations as well, a lot of people do ask if they can burn candles or incense. Be sure to check the accommodation contract because that explicitly does state that no candles allowed. So, when it comes to lights as well, there are certain types that you're recommended not to use. So be sure to have a look over there. Apart from that, you can carry some food stuff and spices. Speaking as an Indian student, half of my bag was spices. So again, be sure to comply with government guidelines when it comes to what you can bring into the country. As long as you're fine with those, you can carry your food items here as well. Ethnic clothes is another big one. There are quite festivals. If you join cultural societies from your country, they have a lot of events and a lot of traditional events as well. So we also have the Leeds Unite Festival where a lot of students are encouraged to showcase their cultures. So ethnic clothing can come into hand there. And yes, the last one, saving the best for last, a raincoat or an umbrella. I would recommend you keep this in your backpack. You don't know the amount of times I've had to walk back home from a lecture theatre absolutely soaking because I did not carry an umbrella. So don't be like me. Buy a good umbrella and carry it with you everywhere. I'd like to pass on to my fellow ambassadors as well if they have anything to add here. Any more essentials?
Yeah. I guess I want to ask you, Sarah and Yue, were there any things that you forgot to pack? Was there anything that just dawned on you when you came to UK and you were like, oh God, there's nothing here I can buy? Because for me, I didn't pack an umbrella. And it was a mistake. It was raining when I arrived, and I was just like, well, I don't know how to survive this weather. And also, I think my date wasn't working when I arrived, and I only found out about University of Leeds SIM cards when I arrived to my accommodation. But so University of Leeds gives you a free SIM card, which is a UK number, and it has some data. But before arriving to my accommodation, I didn't have data, and I was lost in the city. I also didn't know about the university pickup service. So I thankfully another Lithuanian I found another Lithuanian in the airport, and we went to my accommodation together. But without these things, I don't know how I would have even gone straight directly to my accommodation. So I don't know, Sarah, Jiwei, were there any things that you wish you knew?
So I'll chime in. As a Japanese, I'm sure some of you might know we have excellent lunch boxes. In Japan, we take a lot of effort in making the perfect lunchbox. You can put in a soup and it won't pour out of your backpack. I realized that in the UK there aren't that many. Even if they are lunch boxes, they tend to not be as high quality as the Japanese ones. I've been pampered with the Japanese lunch boxes, so I really feel like, oh damn, I should have brought those over with me. However, I was able to find flasks in the Japanese brands called Zojirushi, which is quite a good brand through Amazon here in the UK. So even if you forget some of the things that you want to bring from your home country, sometimes Amazon is your best friend. That's it for me.
So for me, I think it's not that I forgot to bring, but I did not bring enough of it. It will be my medication that I've always been using. So there are pharmacies here, and we have our very own NHS where you can get your medicine in. But if you have a specific medicine that you have been using it for years, it's better for you to bring enough supplies for yourself. So for myself, I'm more prone to using like Chinese medicines. So like, and it's very hard to find it in the UK. So, and that's the thing that I kind of regretted not to bring much. But I've learned my lesson. So I tend to like bring more during my second year when I fly back to Malaysia during my summer break. So I think that's quite important. And especially if you have like allergies and some medications that you need to use for long term, because freshers flu is a very common thing when you first come to the UK, because I will be going out to meet friends, different people, different events. So yeah, so just stay hydrated and don't forget about your medications that you always have it with you. So I'll pass it back to the floor.
Thanks, Jiwei. Yeah, I think that's all clear. And we can go to the next slide. But if you guys have any more questions about what you should bring, just make sure you put it in the chat, and either one of our lovely ambassadors will answer it now, or we will answer it at the end. So yeah, Pragya, floor is yours.
So let's have a little chat now about navigating the city of Leeds itself. Luckily, Leeds it's a wonderful city, very well connected. You can get to most places within a short 15 to 20-minute walk, or make use of the excellent bus service, or catch an Uber if all else fails. There's a lot of groceries and pharmacies, loads of areas for shopping around the city. So as I previously mentioned, when it comes to certain things that you'd like to purchase for your accommodation that aren't provided by the accommodation team, you don't have to necessarily bring them from home and carry that extra weight, but you can purchase them here. And almost everything that you might be packing right now thinking, oh, this won't be available, that won't be available, trust me, it's all there and you'd have to worry about anything. So starting off with the list we have here, when it comes to groceries, you can get all of your major shop for the month from Morrison's. It's a really big store located in the city center, and it has a lot of different varieties of not only local foods, but also traditional food items. You can get a lot of Asian and Indian food supplies here as well. So I know that I found a good amount of dal and lentils and rice and rotis as well here. So that's, again, it's all easily available. Tesco is another grocery store. It's smaller than Morrison's, but because we have a lot of small Tesco Express shops around campus, there's one across from Laidlaw Library, there's one in St. Village Accommodation, and in all other various locations across campus. These are open they're open late into the night, so you can often, have a quick run for, last minute purchases, eggs, milk, all that kind of stuff, and you can get these from these small Tesco stores. Home Bargains is located close to Morrison's, again in the city centre. It's a special mention on this list because they have a lot of items in that you can purchase often in bulk, and often for much cheaper prices than you would at Morrison's or Tesco, for instance. The next on the list is Co-op. There's a Co-op in the Leeds University Union as well. They do really good meal deals, what we call here in the UK, wherein you can, for anywhere between £3 to £5, you can purchase a drink, a main, such as a sandwich or a toastie, and a packet of crisps, and that's honestly a lifesaver meal when you forget to pack a lunchbox. So there's a Co-op again on campus, and they also have stores in the city as well. Lidl, Asda, and Aldi, I'd like to club them together because they are so good when it comes to food prices, and they often have a lot of discounts and deals. Again, good places to do your shop. They are located a little bit further into the city, so they won't be as close as, say, Morrison's would. So one day when you wake up and you're feeling up to it, go and spend a good amount of time there, do all your shop for the month. And when you're doing your budget at the end, you can see the significantly lesser prices that these stores charge. So although they are a bit of a walk away, they are definitely worth it. Iceland is another grocery store. Again, it's located close to Morrison's and Home Bargain. It's called Iceland because you can get loads of frozen food items there. And again, I feel like that it's frozen food items are like an essential part of any student meal because it's so easy to just throw into the oven and, in 10 minutes, you have a nice hot steaming plate of like fries ready for you to munch on. So Iceland is that store for you. And lastly, Kirkgate Market. Kirkgate Market is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to mention this fact now, but trust me, you'll hear it many, many times over the course of your degree in Leeds. I'm sure everyone already knows what I'm going to say, but Kirkgate Market is the birthplace of Marks and Spencer's. So memorize this fact. If you want to impress anyone at Leeds, tell them this and they will look at you and nod in approval. So you can get a lot of ethnic food items here as well. And again, for much cheaper prices, a lot of fresh spices, fresh meats, fresh vegetables. And not only that, you can also purchase a lot of little knickknacks and clothing items even here. So it's Kirkgate Market overall is a really wonderful place to visit. Even if you're not shopping, you're not going with the intention of shopping, I guarantee you will walk out with a bag filled with something or the other. It's just one of those places, and it's a really nice place to visit as well. Now, when it comes to kitchen and bedding, I'd recommend you check out Morrison's again from my previous list. Morrison's is just one of those shops that has, again, everything A to Z. Like everything would be available there for you to buy. So it should be on your shopping list. Next is Wilko. Wilko is a great store when it comes to purchasing items such as bedding, even toiletries. Say something as simple as like a dustbin for your room or a shower curtain or something. You will find everything at Wilko, or toilet paper even. Like it's one of those stores that does not sell food items and groceries per se, but when it comes to supplies and kitchen supplies, bedding, toiletries, washroom supplies, you can get it at Wilko. Again, it's located in the city center. As I mentioned, a lot of these stores are at a good 15 to 20 minute radius. So when you go to visit one store, the rest will be pretty close by. Asda, again, from our previous list, also has a lot of kitchen and bedding items that you can check out for lower prices. Again, around Freshers Week, a lot of these items are at a good discount as well because they know students would be coming specifically to purchase these things, so you can get them at a very good discount. And lastly, IKEA. IKEA is a bit further into the city. A lot of accommodations in the university during Freshers Week especially organized trips to IKEA as well. So do keep a lookout for those. Your accommodation will advertise these and send them to you in email. And of course, you can visit it yourself as well. It's a little bit further away, but well, IKEA is IKEA. I don't know what else to say about it. There's you know what you want, and you know IKEA will have it. So it's definitely a good store. And same thing, they have student deals, student discounts, so worth checking out. Now, when it comes to medicines, Boots, famous pharmacy, you can get your medicines there. They do a 10% student discount. During Freshers Week, I think they do 20% as well. You just have to register your student card with them, and whatever purchase you make, you will get it at 10% off. So that's really, really good. And again, Morrison's also has a selection of some medicines, but these are normally, things like, say, you need paracetamol, or they have the basics basically, where if you want something a bit more specific, then Boots would be the place to go. Now, when it comes to shopping in general, when you're, feeling like splurging on some new clothes and shoes, Trinity is the best place to go, Trinity Mall. They have a lot of big outlets. You've got Hollister, Next, New Look, Primark, just to name a few. And you can purchase your clothes and accessories and shoes and all those kind of things from Trinity. They also have a really good collection of restaurants as well. So it's a nice day out. You can go to Victoria Gate, which is it's in the city center as well, close to Trinity. It's a bit more high end, so it's you have to really feel like splurging if you're going to Victoria Gate. But again, they have a good collection of stores. They have John Lewis there, and you can definitely purchase your clothing items from there as well. Corn Exchange has a collection of wonderful local shops and small businesses. They have a nice collection of items, anything from dresses, and I've even seen musical instruments there, to specially made soaps and candles. You can, again, there's a whole range of items available at Corn Exchange. And it's an iconic building in Leeds as well. So again, if you know, even if you don't want to buy anything, do have a look around, and you can get some really lovely pictures in there as well. Um, the Leeds City Centre in general has a collection of small independent shops, again, that you can purchase items from, and even some well-known brands like Zara, that you can, definitely visit and get things from. I would recommend something, if you don't get from your home country, do come to Leeds and get a good heavy-duty jacket. It'll, something that's waterproof preferably, so it can double as a raincoat as well, and it will be your best friend during your time here. Lastly, just an honorable mention to some shops that we have on campus. Co-op, as I previously said, we also have our Union Shop. And Union Shop basically has a lot of, sorry, I'm losing the word, stationery. It has a lot of stationery, a lot of notebooks, pens, and pencils that you can purchase from here. And gear is our specially curated merch shop, so you can find anything and everything with the University of Leeds logo printed across it, from mugs to sweatshirts to lanyards. Great shop. You would definitely visit it on your first day or on your last day of university. You will visit it though. But yes, now to transfer back to my fellow ambassadors if they have any recommendations.
Sarah, you said you have something to say about food.
Yes, thank you, Viva. Thank you, Pragya, for that very comprehensive list. That was really good. I have some props. So if you are from East Asia, jasmine rice. So if you want to make Chinese food, that's rice you can buy easily. If you are from Japan, like I am, you can get Japanese rice. If you are from South Asia, or even if you're not, if you're British, basmati rice is your best friend. You can buy all of this online if you don't want to carry 10 kilograms of rice with you. I did that, but you can also buy it in the shops. Spices, ground cumin, so that's again from an online store. Dried curry leaves, I'm sure if you make Pakistani dishes, this is the things I usually use. Chana dal, if you're making dal curry, that's your best friend. If you Asia, soy sauce, very cheap. You can buy this in any shop, probably Tesco, Morrison's, etc. They sell this for a fairly good price. And last but not least, Japanese curry. That's my favorite dish to make. But you can get this industrial size, a kilogram of curry blocks. Again, from Amazon. So I'm not promoting Amazon per se, but I'm just letting you know that you can buy all of these things here.
Do you have the whole kitchen, Sarah, in your bedroom? I've never seen somebody just take so much food out. But this is lovely, and I want your Japanese curry block sent to me, because, well, a picture of it, because I never know which one to actually use. I love cooking a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a massive foodie, and this. Sorry, I didn't hear you, Sarah.
Java.
Okay,
Java curry.
I'll put that on my list, because I've used like golden curry, I think. And the list that Pragya made isn't even full list of all the places where you can shop. So one of my favorite places are Abubakar and Sinki. I don't know about you guys, but I love like international foods as well. And there's a lot of Oriental shops in Leeds. So if you're from Southeast Asia, you don't need to worry about finding the right places and you don't need to pack everything, because there's lots and lots of Southeast Asian shops in Leeds. One of them is Sinki, and another one is Oriental Supermarket, which is just in front of University of Leeds. Yeah, what about you, Jiwei? Do you have some favorite places to go to where you shop?
I would say like the street like where Oriental City has is located. So like along the way, there's like a lot of like other Asian supermarkets like Indian supermarket as well as a Thai supermarket. So usually I will just do my shopping there because it's the closest thing I can find in like Southeast Asia food. So like and the best part about Oriental City is that if you purchase like above £30, you will get free delivery around LS1 or LS2 area. So usually like your student accommodation because it's usually located around like LS1, LS2. So if you think that you are buying like 20 kg of rice and you don't want to like carry it and walking back to your accommodation, you can opt for their free delivery service. I think this applies to Sinki as well. So yeah, they do provide this service. You just have to like ask them if you really want that. Yeah,
I
so
didn't know
that's
that.
one.
I've been carrying my rice on my backpack the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that they do that. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you usually can do that because like there's one day I was carrying my 20 kg of rice with my housemates walking out of the shop, and the lady was like, do you know you can opt for free delivery service? I'm like, oh really? Yeah,
amazing.
so you can. Yeah, so you can opt for that and just have to put your phone number there and they will call you once they have arrived. So usually like the delivery time will be before 5 p.m. So just nice for dinner time from in my opinion. So it's quite a good one. Yeah. But Sarah, can you send me the link for your curry? I'm very interested in it.
I think we've got everything covered in terms of food. So Sarah will talk you through the other practical things that you need to get started once you arrive here at university.
Yeah, so I think I've seen lots of questions on the chat as well, but once you arrive at Leeds, I think the first thing you want to start doing would be to complete your student registration. So I'm sure most of you would be aware of this, but you need to complete an online registration before you can do the physical registration where you'd get your student ID and all of that, your pictures taken. Oh, sorry, I think the pictures will be uploaded through the online registration. So since it's an online registration, you can do that before you come to Leeds. It doesn't really matter when you do it. You can do it before coming to Leeds, or if you prefer, after you've come to Leeds, you can complete the online registration in your accommodation or on the campus, and then you can move on to do the face-to-face on-campus registration. Okay, so another thing you should also do would be to collect your BRP. So when you were doing your visa application, I'm sure you had the option to choose where you can collect it. I think the university recommends you to set the postcode for the university so that you can collect it from the university campus itself, which is, I imagine, much easier to do. But if you, like me, didn't follow that rule and just went ahead with going for the nearest location, I collected, I think, in a post office in Leeds. I got the information of the address of where I was supposed to collect it. I got, I think, an email notification of when I can collect it from as well. I think there was a timeline in which I had to collect it. So, you can't wait 3-4 months leaving the BRP over. So you do need to collect it as soon as you get the email, but I don't think the deadline was that strict. So it's not like you receive the email and on that day you need to do that. So there's a little bit of time, but just make sure you do check your emails quite regularly. I'd also like to say here that I was going to say that for some of you, you might need to register with the police. That system is now gone. So from August 1st, so now August 10th. It's been 9 days since that has been the case. The UK government has scrapped the policy of students needing to register with police. So if you're from Japan, like I was, you didn't need to register with the police, but it was a requirement for certain other countries. This is not the case anymore. You don't need to do that. So you don't need to have to worry about police registrations. That's a great information. However, you still need to register with a doctor. Doctors are called GP in the UK, general practitioners, shortened to GP. And the reason why we do this is because it's expected that if you register with a GP, if anything goes wrong while staying in the UK, that GP practitioner will be responsible for you. So you can, I think, call them it usually in the mornings to book an appointment with them or ask, I'm having these kinds of symptoms, do I need to come in to have a check? Or in some cases, they would diagnose you over the phone so you don't have to physically go to the doctors. So that's a really great service. So yes, you do need to register with the GP. In order to do that, you do need to go to the practitioner. I think you also need to complete another, unfortunately, online registration for that as well. I also recommend opening a UK bank account, especially if you're here in the UK a little bit longer than 1 year. That's usually quite useful. For instance, if you have a part-time job in the UK, they might ask you for your bank details so that they can directly deposit the money that your wages. So it's quite a good idea to have a UK bank account. As for recommendations, I don't think we have any. Usually the big major brands is pretty much okay. So I think that we used to have Santander in the on campus branch. I think that's closed now, close to its university campus. There's lots of banks like HSBC, Lloyds, etc. So basically you can choose whichever bank you want. There is a website where they do compare the different kind of offerings each bank has, but the details of the differences are very minute. Pretty much if you're in the UK, most banks will have pretty much the same service, so you shouldn't worry about that too much. For instance, my friend chose a bank just based on the color scheme, so it's not a big matter here. But in order to get a bank account, it might take a little bit long time. This is because if in September, October season, there'll be lots and lots of students coming in trying to open a bank account almost the same time. So that means that the paperwork's going to take a little bit longer. So it's going to take a couple of weeks for your bank account to be set up. So you need to have a way in which to pay for your daily lives before that. You might have a debit card from your home country that you can use, or a credit card that you can use in the UK. Other people might prefer to use cash. That's okay. If you bring your cash from your home country, I recommend exchanging it at the post office in the UK. So most major post offices in the UK should be able to exchange the money on the day, if not maybe a couple of days, but you can do that and they have quite good rates. So I do recommend, if you're going to bring cash with you, to do that in the post office in Leeds. That's very possible, and that's pretty much how British people do it if they want to go visit a different country. So if it's good for the British people here, it should be good enough for you as well. Last but not least, I highly recommend getting a diary or schedule notebook. So it's like this. I have it quite cute, but basically it should be like this in the calendar. It should have all of the information of when you've booked an appointment, maybe to register with a GP, or the date of the international orientations or other orientations that you want to get to, writing the dates, writing the time, so that you know that you're not missing out on anything. So that's quite important. So let's move on to the next one. So social activities, I think I saw lots of questions about when I should come. Oh, I'm going to miss the international orientation, which starts from Monday, 19th of September. Don't worry about it. Orientation goes on for quite a long time. Most of the information that they provide is fairly similar to the ones you can get on websites. It's pretty much there so that you can make friends, meet new people who've just come out of the train or the plane, and meet these new people and make friends. So that's the most important thing for you to do during this time. A main orientation will be held on the 22nd and 23rd of September. They're both on campus, so if you can make it, that's great. I really recommend you participating in them. If you don't, because you're coming a little bit later, like I did, you don't have to worry too much. You still have lots of opportunities to make friends. Most of the information are available online or will be sent to you via email, so you won't be missing out just because you weren't able to participate in one of the orientations. So don't worry if you can't make them. We also hold something called the Global Cafe, which is every Mondays, 5:30 to 7:30. That's open to all international students, and I highly recommend it to participate here because, again, you get to make new friends there. And I've been working on providing these global cafes. It's a really nice environment. You get free hot drinks and free snacks like biscuits. So if you ever want to feel like you're a little bit hungry around this time on a Monday, just come down to the Leeds University Union building, which is right in the middle of the campus. You can't miss it. And then underground, we will be holding the global cafes every Monday. We also have the Welcome Buddy scheme. So this is a scheme which we try to match students with other students. So you fill in a form, you talk about, okay, what my interests are, what kind of friends you want to make at Leeds, what kind of friends you want to perhaps avoid. Maybe if you prefer to be quiet and you don't want too much of a party animal, maybe you can write that down. The university would make sure to find somebody who matches your descriptions, matches maybe your key interests, for instance, and try to match it together. And then once we've matched you together, then it's up to you. You can meet them however often you want. Maybe you can make great friends. Maybe it doesn't work out for you. That's still okay. It happens to everybody. Sometimes you can make great friends through certain schemes. Sometimes you just meet them and then you never talk to them again for whatever reason. But all of it is part of the fun. So I do recommend participating in that. Another thing is called Get Out, Get Active. So this kind of ranges in price. Some of the events are done completely for free. Others you might have to pay up to about £18, so that's not very expensive. These are trips to a certain location in the UK outside of Leeds, so you can go to the Yorkshire Dales, for instance, as a group, so you get a big discount. These are kind of the locations which are very hard to get to by public transportation because these are nature spots and they don't tend to have very good connections. So if you want to visit these locations but don't have the means to, for instance, you don't drive, you can't drive in the UK, I highly recommend participating, get out, get active, and go to these locations through that. Again, you'll be able to make great friends who also share same interests, for instance, so it'd be a very good opportunity. I myself have never used Get Out, Get Active, Welcome Buddy schemes, but I'm interested if one of our ambassadors have anything to add to this.
I definitely recommend Get Out, Get Active to get to know UK more. So I went on a couple of hikes with Get Out, Get Active. It's usually a hike on a Sunday, I believe. One thing I would recommend is a raincoat and very comfortable and not slippery shoes, because when we say that it rains in the UK, we're not lying. It always rains in the UK. And I went to Haworth Village with Get Out, Get Active, and it was just terrible, terrible weather. It was muddy, and I dressed nicely for some reason to go on a hike. I think I was wearing jeans. It wasn't the most comfortable hike for sure, and I didn't have a proper raincoat. I think I had an umbrella, but it's not always enough, especially when you're walking long distances. It's not the easiest to just hold your umbrella because of the wind. So if you do decide to participate in it, it's really, really fun because you get to meet lots of other students, and everybody usually comes alone and without knowing other people there. So it's a great way to make other people to make friends with other people in your first couple of months here in the UK. And then yeah, I don't know, Jiwei, have you been on one of them?
I think I've only been to one where they hosted like a walking trip to Harrogate. Like I think it's like it was like back in 2020 or 2019 before the pandemic hits. And yeah, I totally agree on what Viva said to bring a very comfortable shoe.
Jiwei, I think you're muted. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I'm so sorry. Just to repeat what I said, that I actually joined one before in Harrogate. I think they hosted like a walking trip to Harrogate because I found like for hiking for me it's like too much, so I prefer like walking one. And I totally agree on what Viva said to bring like a very comfortable shoe, and it's best to have it waterproof as well, because I remember like it was raining when I went there, and I brought like a white color sports shoes. I had trouble like washing it back when I was home because it's full of muds and like branches, leaves, and all that. Yeah,
And
so it's
another tip, just bring a spare pair of socks that you can leave
yeah.
when the bus stops, you can leave a couple things in the bus. So if you have another pair of shoes and socks in the bus, it saves your life just because when you come back in all wet and just wanting some warm clothes and you have to sit with your wet socks and wet shoes, it's not the most comfortable feeling, but you get full of emotions. Like, I'm not sure about you, Jiwei, but I think it was a really great experience for me to get to meet other people, and I just came back all full of excitement.
Yes, totally have the same feeling as yours.
Um, yeah, I think, Sarah, we can go to the next slide about making friends, which is what we were just talking about. Um, I'll let you introduce it.
Right. So adding on to what Sarah said, there's like a lot of ways to make friends in the UK, and making friends is one of my biggest worry when I came to Leeds, because like I know no one, like none of my friends are following me to Leeds. So in the university, there are many events where you can meet a lot of friends. So the first one will be Freshers Week, where is one of the first event on campus during the start of the academic year. So for this year, it will be 26th of September to 30th of September. So it will last for 1 week with lots of activities for you to join. So during the Freshers Week, we have all the clubs and societies setting up booths in a marquee or inside or outside our Leeds University Union building for students to try out clubs and societies they are interested in and sign up for their Give It a Go event. So Give It a Go event is one of the events where it's like a tryout sessions for all the clubs and societies before you officially join as a member. And secondly, if you are living in a student hall, some of the halls actually will host pizza nights or barbecue nights for students to get to know more about each other and to get to know more about your flatmates or students living in the same hall itself. So for mine, I used to live in Central Village, and they have like pizza nights and barbecue. Oh, I think no, pizza nights and fish and chips nights where they give up free food for students to hang out and get to know more about each other in the common room itself. So for more information can be found in the LUU Engage website. where they post all the activities and events happening around the campus. So do check it out. I would recommend to check it out like every week, so you can plan your schedules ahead on what you are interested in joining or what you are not. So yeah, so join when you are free, and don't be too overwhelmed that you feel like you have to join all the events. Just join those that you're interested in. So when I first came to the UK, I was very overwhelmed with the culture shocks. So one example is the drinking culture, which is not really a thing in Malaysia. So here are the ways for myself to deal with the culture shocks. So first is to mix around with locals and international friends to get to know more about different cultures around the world, as well as to get to know more about the British culture itself, because you are studying in the UK. And secondly is to ask when in doubt, and don't be afraid to try new things. So usually like we will be sharing like our cultures itself and stuff. Your friends will be inviting you to try out their food. So don't be afraid to try out new stuff. You may like it. So last but not least, and the most important one, is to don't be afraid to share your cultures to others as well, as they will be also very interested in getting to know about yours at the same time. So if I would recommend to bring like small keychains or magnets or something that represents your countries to exchange with them, if you are comfortable with, because that's what I did. I actually exchanged like Malaysian snacks with my Chinese friends or like British friends to get them to try out more about like Malaysian delicacy. So yeah, I I shall open to the floor for like to share about like your experience, like maybe making friends, or like how do you deal with like culture shocks.
Thanks, Jiwei. But I think we can move along. Like you made it very clear. Everybody is experiencing a culture shock when they first come to university, but there is a lot of support, which we're gonna talk about now in our next slide. So don't be afraid and don't think that you're the only one who misses home, who is experiencing a culture shock. University of Leeds has about 30% international students, so you will always have somebody to talk to. And there are other professionals that also that you can also contact, such as counselors and student advice officers, if you're experiencing difficulties. Yeah, so here we are, managing your studies, and Jiwei can go from here.
Right. Thank you, Viva. So you got to have your work-life balance, isn't it? So now we're moving on to the work part. So during my first year, I actually struggled in my assignments and academic writings, and it was very different from what I've been learning back in school in Malaysia. So here are some of my favorite platforms and resources to use while managing my academics. So first one is called the Skills at Libraries. I have to like really emphasize on this because it's like a very useful platform, a very useful website to help. It's like basically my lifesaver for my academic writing system. So they actually provide tutorials and guidances on academic writings, research skills, literature review techniques, where you will need it throughout your studies. And because you will be mostly writing like all this academic writings stuff for your assignments and as well as examinations. So they have one-to-one tutorials for some academic writing skills, but on appointment basis. You can find out more in the websites below. And one tip from me is to start your assignments early if you can, if you wish to seek for advices from Skills at Library, because appointments will be fully booked during the peak assignments period and also the submission period. So besides that, you can also go to any of your school's academic staff, your lecturers, or your personal tutors drop-in hour whenever you have doubts about your courseworks. And our university have four big libraries for you to find resources as well, like books. And we also have like 24 hours computer clusters where you can go there to work 24 hours to surf internet or to find more resources from Google Scholars or online resources. And we have also a lot of like coffee shops around the campus and then LUU Common Ground where you can use as a study space or a group discussion area if you think library is too quiet for you. Because this is I think I personally likes to study in cafe more because I love the coffee smell and also like some ambience sound for my studies. And so some courses might require students to get their textbooks. For example, from what I know, it'll be law or accounting and finance, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you can get it either second-handed from seniors from your school, who are selling it, because usually they will actually post in Facebook Marketplace or in your group chat saying that they are selling their second-handed books before they graduate. So you can approach them and buy it from them. If not, eBay and Amazon will be the good options too, especially Amazon because as a new student, you will have 6 months Amazon Prime account free if you are signing up using your university emails. And last but not least, Waterstone's bookstore is also a good place for you to get storybooks or some books. It's a physical store located in the city center of Leeds, which can be an option also. So now I'll pass the floor to Pragya to share us more about some useful context.
Thank you, Jiwei. I hope everyone can hear me okay, and my connection is a bit shaky in case my audio or video disappears. So yes, that is the reason. Now, just to briefly talk about some useful contacts. These are contacts provided to you that you can use in your time of need. Starting off with the local emergency services and the 24-hour university security contact number. The university security is very on top of their work, and honestly, any issues that you are facing, they should be your first point of contact. They have a very quick response time and are easily available in time of need. Obviously, following from that, we have the police, fire, ambulance, and Coast Guard number at 999. The NHS medical help, as Sarah previously mentioned, you can often get advice over the phone. And if you are in a situation where you need medical attention, but it is not a severe emergency or a grave instance where you need immediate attention, you can call 111 to get help from the NHS. Following on from that, we have the number for the University Union and Student Advice Center. They offer valuable advice for students dealing with day-to-day issues, maybe relating to finance, issues with their accommodation. Even sometimes I've even approached them for help with managing my studies, for instance, dealing with stress or overwhelming situations. They are very helpful with that. Then we have the Leeds Student Medical Practice. As previously mentioned, do register with your GP, and if you need to see them for any situation, any appointments with the doctors, they even provide vaccines and stuff, so you can reach out to them. And lastly, we have the contact number for our disability services. We also have had a previous webinar on student support, where we did speak about disability services in detail as well. So do have a look at that webinar for more information. I think we can move on, yeah.
Thank you, Pragya. And I think Sarah is going to start on all the things that we wish we had known when we came to university. Sarah? I'm not sure if Sarah is hearing us. So if not, I'll start. So one of the things that I wish I'd known is not to buy freshers' wristbands, because people keep scamming you on Facebook. Whenever you press that you're coming to University of Leeds, you will get so many messages telling you that this freshers wristband is the best wristband you can possibly buy, and it will allow access to all of these cool events. And it's basically a scam. There will be events with those wristbands, but you're not actually, you shouldn't really buy freshers wristbands just because it's a lot easier um, to buy individual tickets for events once you come here and once you make friends. Then I also would recommend trying out as many societies as you can in your first year. As you know, first year grades don't go into your overall grades, into your diploma. So try out as many things as you could possibly do in your first year. And then check your emails for events and opportunities. I think I wasn't really subscribed to a lot of emails that I should have been in my first year, or I was just deleting them sometimes and not reading them, but they actually have a lot of useful information, and you get newsletters from your faculty and from your school telling you about all these incredible ways and networking events. I'll ask staff when you have some questions. So staff, the university staff is there to help you as a student and guide you through your university journey. So don't think of them as any different from they're just people, and they are there to help. So just ask questions because they don't know that you don't know something unless you tell them. Also, do not overpack clothes. I'm not sure I agree with that because I feel like I underpacked clothes, but because I came with one suitcase. But I've seen people come with 4 suitcases. So yes, pack thoughtfully and just know that there are supermarkets here and you can buy a lot of things here. Also, explore the campus and city as much as possible, especially if you arrive before your studies start. So I arrived during the Freshers Welcome, the International Welcome Week, which is the week before Freshers Week, and I had so much time. I basically had 2 weeks until my studies began, and I explored everything I could, and it was really, really helpful because I could get around campus faster. When I would read in my timetable that this lecture is in Roger Stevens, I wouldn't have to worry. So explore the campus as much as possible. Also, try to meet new people and remember that support is available on campus. If anybody else has anything to add. Also, I really want to apologize for this presentation that disappeared from your screen. So we're just gonna talk you through the presentation, but it was almost at the end anyways. Yeah, Jiwei, I think you had a couple of things to add on.
Yeah, thank you, Viva. So actually, I'm the one that likes. Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay?
No, can't hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can. Yes, I think I can. Yeah.
Anyway, I think you're unmuted if you're.
Hello?
No, but we
Can you
can't
hear
hear
me
you. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. I think we're just gonna wrap up this presentation with a couple of thoughts. So this presentation is recorded and you can access the link to the recording. So if you did come to the presentation, the link will be sent to you in an email. You can also find it on Link to Leeds website. And the presentation will stay up online
Hello. Is anyone hearing me okay? Right. Um, so that's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening and to listening to our sharings and stuff. Hope you have like a very informative sessions to get to know more about Leeds and yeah. So now we'll open the floor to Q&A and we can try to answer um, questions that we'll try our best to answer questions from the floor. So if you have any questions, do type down in the live chat, and we will pick some of them to answer. So, are there WhatsApp groups for office holder? Um, Not sure about the general one, but we do have like a few for the regions. Like I'm from the Southeast Asia team, and we do have a WhatsApp group for the Southeast Asia region. But if you would like to know more, do check out with the ambassadors from your region, and they will know the best. So do feel free to just log on to our LinkedIn's website, go to the ambassadors list, and just find the ambassadors that is in your country and ask them for more information about the WhatsApp. Will we receive a separate emails from Leeds about the details of the offer? You will receive your offer in the email where you sign up your UCAS as. Like if you will receive your let me just rephrase it. You'll receive the offer letter in your email that you log in to your UCAS with it. Yeah. And once you have registered as a student in the university or get your BRP and your student ID, you will be having your own university email where your lecturers will send you emails about your module informations and all about that. Any tips to figuring out the bus routes? Pragya, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, definitely. So, as I mentioned previously, Leeds is very well connected. A lot of distances are at walking range as well. So often, I've been in a situation where I've wanted to travel to one place. The bus takes 15 minutes and walking also takes 15 minutes. Don't ask me how, but they have their stops. And so I would suggest that Google Maps is your best bet to kind of figure out, first of all, where the bus routes run. They're very indicative of the timings that the buses come at, how busy the buses are, whether they're crowded or not, the stations, and how long it takes for you to get to the station. And of course, you can also make use of the First Bus app, and which also has detailed information about the same, where the bus routes are and how far they are from you. Additionally, you can also get a bus card, I'm sure, as a student. You can get a student discount on the tickets you purchase as well. So yes, do have a look on for some information online as well, and it's easily accessible for sure. Jiwa, I remember reading a question about people asking about winter clothes and where they can purchase them from, and which are the best shops. So, what's your advice on that?
Um, for me, I actually love to go thrift shopping, and and apparently there's like a lot of thrift shops in Leeds, and the university often hosts thrift stores as well, thrift
Yeah.
events as well. So besides that, I usually get winter coats from H&M or um what's that? What's that again? Like New Look,
Yes.
Outlook, New Look. Yeah. So they usually have cheap options as well, especially if you get it like off peak, like off winter seasons. I remember getting my winter coat for only like £20 or like
Oh
£15.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the off season. So yeah, it's like a it's like a steal for me actually.
No, definitely. I agree with you. Thrift stores are very good for these things. Also, so obviously, initially, when you come to university, because it's Freshers Week, all the stores are aware of this and they do have good discounts. I remember getting mine from Hollister for £50. And they gave me like a £10 discount on it as a new customer. And there was already like sale going on during that time. So definitely my advice to students is that if you are coming from a country, like I'm from Dubai and it's pretty hot here, so the winter collection is non-existent. So purchase it from the UK. These stores understand how cold it can get and provide you with clothing that is appropriate for that. Additionally, sometimes a good winter coat can be expensive, but trust me, that coat that I spent £50 on has lasted me now for 4 years, and now finally I'm deciding to dispose of it. So it's a worthy investment. Coats, your hats as well. Some people, a lot of my friends wear gloves because their hands get really cold, or a good scarf. All these things, trust me, get it from the UK.
I actually saw like a question asking what should I buy as winter clothes.
Oh
So
yeah, there you go.
basically, yeah. So basically for UK's winter, I feel like a pair of good jeans or a long
Mhm.
pants and a puffer jacket would be
Yes,
enough.
puffer jackets. Yes, those really
Yeah,
thick
but
ones.
yeah, but for me, I actually wear like something which is called the long john, where
Mhm.
it's like a heating shirt
Ah,
inside
yes,
your
with the
jumper, where
innerwear.
it actually heats up your body. Well, because I'm a person that are very afraid of cold,
Yes.
so that really helps me a lot. And also to get you a pair of wool socks would be good as well
Ah, yes, that's very good.
to keep you warm during the winter period.
Yeah. And they're quite cheap as well in Primark, I think, so you can get those. I would recommend, now this is something I used to do religiously every day, check the weather in the morning before you leave. Some days are definitely colder than others. Some days it's going to be more rainier than others. So do check in the morning and be prepared when you leave the house. Sarah's
Yeah.
back on screen as well. I think I read a really interesting question. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. It was any tips for saving money. So, how do you guys budget? How do you guys go about your finances? And yeah, all those things.
um, before I go into the budget, I actually saw like one interesting questions asking about the is are winters anything like Canada
Oh,
winters? Unfortunately, we don't. Leeds don't really snow that much. If we snow, it will be only like 1 to 2 days, or sometimes like we won't snow. So it's not as cold as Canada, but a puffer jacket will be good because a waterproof puffer jacket will be good because when it rains during the winter, it will be freezing cold and it will go down to like -10 sometimes during the night. So yeah, so now back to the um, financial saving tips. So Priya, do you want to go first on that?
yeah, definitely. I think, in my opinion, a budget is the best thing that you can do to keep track of your finances. There's a lot of apps online as well that help with that to track your purchases. Figure out where you're spending the most money. Try and see if you can cut down on that. I think for me, the biggest spender was every weekend I was trying to, go out for meals quite a bit, and I would tell myself, oh, I won't eat during the week, but then I would eat during the week as well. So it was just a bad cycle of me constantly eating out. So I think saving money on food was the biggest one for me, cooking more at home. What about you, Sarah? Do you have any tips on this?
Yeah, definitely the same as you. Almost never eat out, I'd say. Pretty much I eat out maybe once or twice a month. Most of the days I'm just cooking every single day. Um, in terms of money saving tips, it's very minor detail, but if you're not vegetarian, vegan, and you eat meat, chicken is very cheap in the UK. I think it's the cheapest cut of meat you can get would be chicken thighs, especially the ones with the skin and bone and skin on, because British people tend to prefer chicken breasts, so they tend to be quite cheap. So that's quite nice. Other ways you can save. I think Pragya mentioned Lidl and Aldi. Those are the budget supermarkets that you can go for. They would be the cheapest places to get to. So I recommend shopping predominantly there. And I think I saw somebody asking about paracetamol. Those are quite common medicine. You can just buy it without prescription at any supermarket. And again, paracetamol tends to be cheaper in places like Aldi and Lidl.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Another question that we had was, is it mandatory to have a UK phone number? It's not mandatory, but it's recommended because it's a lot easier to use a UK phone number. And then if you're worried about contacting your family from a UK number, there are a lot of international plans. So I think University of Leeds gives out Lebara SIM cards. So I still have the same SIM card that I got in my first year. And actually, the plan is I only pay £5 per month and I can call internationally. So whenever I'm back at home, I still use the same data. I still use the same um, mobile phone network, and I don't need to keep changing my SIM cards because it includes international mobile minutes. Another question from Jeanette was, does the university have a calendar where it shows the holidays for students? Yes, the university has a calendar and you can Google term dates. I'll post the link now in the chat, but you can also just Google term dates at University of Leeds, and you will see all the holidays and your days off. Another question. Was there another question? Sorry, Sarah, can you see another question? I'm a little bit.
Yeah, I picked the catered option for accommodation. Does that mean I can get anything I want from the canteen? That's the question, I think.
Oh, I don't see this. Sorry, could you answer this?
Yeah, sure. Yes, you can get anything. The canteen has quite a variety of different foods, so that if you're vegetarian, vegan, you have that option. If you like meat, you have that option as well. My favorite one from the refectory would be the ones where they have global cooking. So they try to do Asian style cooking sometimes. I think you can get fish and chips as well if you want to try that as well. So yeah, you have quite a lot of variety. Just make sure that it's within your budget.
Yeah, just to add to that, you will get a card which is preloaded with an amount. So, as Sarah rightly said, there's a huge variety. Just make sure you are under your budget and kind of following the amount set on your card, which is again to be used only in the refectory. Apart from that, we do have so many restaurants and cafes on campus as well.
I think adding on to that, I think the card will be like £11 per day, where you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a refectory or any restaurants, cafe in the uni that has like the food. That's like an app for that. Like there are certain specific restaurants or cafe that you can go to under the card, so you can use the card with £11 to purchase in the specific cafes or refectory to get your food.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
that's correct. I think the price is actually £12.50 per day, and it's less during Saturdays, and then you don't get an allowance on Sundays, from what I remember. But you would need to check that on Great Food at Leeds or your accommodation website if you are catered. Another question was, are there good discounts on laptops? So students get a lot of discounts in general. And there is this website called Uni Deals where you can check all of the discounts available for students. I remember I purchased my MacBook with a student discount, and it wasn't a discount. It just gave me free AirPods as I purchased my computer. So you need to go on unidays.com or .co.uk. I think if you just Google Unidays, you will see all of the discounts available for buying clothes, buying um, accessories, and yeah, just in general, all student discounts. Mm, Next question. How do you manage your school, social life, and cooking for yourself? Um, So I'm a big foodie and I cook a lot. But one thing I recommend is batch cooking, sometimes freezing your portions, and thinking ahead of time, not just buying everything that your eye sees, because it's really overwhelming sometimes to go into supermarket and you become an adult. You have the money and you can buy whatever you want, but if you buy carelessly, you're gonna end up with too many things that go off too fast and not enough frozen things or not enough of essentials. So try to plan what you buy ahead of going to the grocery shop, and just allow yourself maybe a couple of items that are not on your list, because we all want some snacks and it's very normal. But don't just go with free head, and don't go hungry to buy any food at all, because if you go hungry to a supermarket, you're gonna buy way too much of everything. Yeah, I see everybody nodding, so if you have any other suggestions, please add to that.
Like the way I'm managing between my academics, social life, cooking yourself, and all those like daily routines, I feel like Google Calendar is my best friend. Like because like in Google Calendar you can actually put down your activities in color codes. So actually it's not only like your classes, I do put down like my social events, and when like dinner time, social events, or rest time, like something like that, traveling to uni time and stuff, so to just keep me on track on what I need to do for the rest of my day so I don't lose tracks. And yeah, I do agree with Viva. I do batch cooking a lot. I did from what I actually do meal preps every week. So like I will space out a day when I'm totally free, which is usually Sunday. So I will just spend like 2 hours to prep out meals, cut all the vegetables that I need, put it in the freezer or the fridge, and just take out like bags of it to cook it on that day. And it doesn't really take that much time. I remember like I can prep out a meal within 30 minutes. So yeah, it should be fine. And yeah, and sometimes I do eat out as well, like 3 pound meal with my best friends when I'm in library studying and I don't feel like cooking. So yeah, maybe I can open to the floor for more sharings on their experience.
Yeah, I just agree with everything Viva and Jure said so far on this. There's a lot of different ways you can manage. One tip I have for you guys is if you're living in a shared flat, I would do a lot of my groceries with my flatmate. We would eat a lot of the similar things, so it worked out really well. Saved on money as well. We would split the bill in half, so it was really good in that regard. And a lot of times we would split the cooking between us. Maybe I would cook lunch for us, so she would cook dinner. And yeah, just to echo everything everyone said so far already, really good tips here. Back to you, Viva.
Thanks, Pragya. And I just wanted to tell the people watching that the stream will end in 2 minutes and we will be cut off. And as I mentioned, you can access this recording on Link to Leeds website, and you can chat to us, Link to Leeds ambassadors, on that website as well. So we have work emails, and we also have a UniBuddy chat where all of the ambassadors from different countries studying different courses are available to you. And we respond in 48 hours usually. Um, You can also chat to us on Instagram, but I would recommend chatting with us on UniBuddy or using our emails, just because you don't really know who's managing Instagram every single day, and the ambassador is managing social media change every couple of days. So if you do have more questions, please feel free to contact us. And I just really wanted to thank you for your time.